All right, in this lesson, we're going to get into what I think is the fun part, anyway, of coloring is the actual rendering, which is deciding where you're going to put light and shadow and effects and all those sort of things. Um, there are a lot, a lot of ways to color. Okay, I mentioned earlier, like I'm a professional colorist primarily, and I was talking with another friend of mine who's also a comic book colorist, and we were talking about techniques, and he said there are as many, how did he say it? There's as many ways to color as there are colorists. So I want to show you guys a couple of things that I think are good for beginners and even people that have been doing this for a while. Some of these things I still do, but I think they're the simplest to sort of wrap your head around when you're first starting. So we're gonna tackle a couple of those. So start off with, let's do some things with some layers here. So I'm gonna go to layers and let's duplicate these flats, and we're going to lock the flats so that we can't do anything with them. Not alpha lock like we did earlier, but lock them completely so we can't change them, because we don't want these to accidentally get painted on, and then we have to go and redo our selections. So we're going to, let's see, what is it? Left swipe on the layer, duplicate, and it copied the alpha lock again. And we're just going to call this, I'm just going to call it colors, because these are just, we can paint on this layer or we can paint above this layer. It doesn't really matter. But I like to have a separate option than messing around with my flats layer, which I don't want to change. So I'm going to lock the flats layer. So I'm going to left swipe, hit lock. So now if we try to paint on the flats, we're going to go warning, this is a locked layer. Do you want to do that? All right. I'm going to go ahead and lock the main flat too, so we don't accidentally do anything with that. Now, one of the simplest things is deciding whether or not you want to start with dark colors and then paint lighter colors, or if you want to start somewhere in the middle and paint darker and lighter colors. That's kind of the way that I do it most of the time now, but there's not really a right or wrong answer there. If you prefer to darken everything to begin with and work your way up, that's fine. For beginners, I think it's a little bit harder. So these colors are sort of a middle ground, pretty bright, but for the most part, they're kind of middle ground when it comes to brightness. And I think that's easiest for people that are just starting out. And so the first technique I'm going to show you, we're going to make a new layer. Now, earlier we have that main flat layer. I showed you, we talked about this earlier. It's just the silhouette, basically. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to make that our selection, and Procreate makes this very easy. So all you have to do is click on that main layer, select it to turn it blue, and then hit it again, and that'll bring up this menu, and I'm going to hit, you guessed it, select. So now only that is selected, okay? And we can take that selection with us to other layers. That's the difference in, say, for example, just doing an alpha lock like we did on these colors earlier. So if I'm going to deselect that selection by clicking the little selection tool at the top left up here, the little blue S. So like I said earlier, we can paint on this layer without going outside the lines because of the alpha lock. But if I make a new layer, actually I accidentally made two. So if I make a new layer on top and try to paint, you'll notice that it doesn't work because we're not on that layer, okay? So what you can do is we'll select from the main layer, select everything. Well, now I can go to that new layer and I can paint and stay inside the lines. Whoops, I actually get a paintbrush. There we go. So it's sort of the same thing as doing the alpha lock, but we can take it with us to other layers. So I'm just going to pick, let's see, we can change this at any point, but I'm going to start with like a kind of a bright bluish color. It needs to be bright for this method. We don't want anything dark to be too dark. And I'm just going to rename this layer to shadows. All right. Now I've still got my selection. So I'm going to go get my brush. And it doesn't really matter which brush you use. It just depends on the look you're going for. But I like this flat marker brush. And I'm going to try that one. Now the other thing I'm going to do before we actually start, so right now if I start coloring with this doesn't look like a shadow, right? It's a big bright blue color. So what we're going to do is change the layer mode. Okay, now layer modes get pretty complex in how they work technically. It's a lot of math involved I don't even understand. So if you want to look it up, you can look up like, layer modes or Photoshop layer modes or Procreate layer modes, and you'll find some blog posts that kind of explain them. Honestly, I don't find them that useful. It's a lot of technical stuff and it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But I know what I like and I know how they work. I know what they end up doing. And so that's really all that matters to me. So for the shadows, there's a lot of options here. There's multiply, linear burn, all these different things. So just to show you guys, I'm going to start with normal. And let's say I wanted my light source, for simplicity's sake, we'll put the light source kind of from the top and a little bit from the left. Okay, so kind of in front of him though. So it's to his left, above him, and in front of him. So when you're thinking about light sources, you've got to think about, all three of those things. So I'll actually explain this real quick. This will help to understand what we're talking about. So when you decide on where you want your light to be, now in this case there is this glowing thing on from the gun, and we'll use that too as a separate light source layer. But I'm talking about the main light source that I want to use here. And so the first thing I need to decide is, where is it? Now, what I see from a lot of people is they'll say the light's on the right, or the light's coming from the top. Well, I'm going to describe the light as like a cone, like an arrow that's a cone, okay? So if you're looking at it from the side, and let's say it's from the right, that means, let me do this on a different layer just so we don't get confused. If we do it from the right, well, that's just, cone's going to be a flat edge and there's the rest of the arrow. So that's directly from his right, but that doesn't really describe the light well enough, okay? So, because you could have the light directly from the right, you could have the light behind him, whereas light, let's say that's the back side of the cone. You know what I mean? So those dots are transparent, so that it's kind of pointing toward us. It's still coming from the right, but it's coming from the right and behind him. And then you would have the opposite, which is coming from the right, and it's pointing at him from where we are. So when you're thinking about light, you can't just think, oh, it's coming from the right or the top. You've also got to decide, is it in front or behind what I'm going to paint here? I don't want to get too advanced with this, but that should give you guys enough to think about. So let's just say, for simplicity's sake, the light's kind of coming from this side and kind of in the front, kind of like this. Okay, so that's going to be our light. So it's shining on this way. So where are the shadows going to be? All right, so I'm going to go to my shadows layer. Again, I'm going to go back to that bright bluish color. And so we know that like underneath here, this would be shadow. Now I'm going to fix this color in a second. This doesn't look like a shadow right now, does it? And then like maybe his hair comes down. It's kind of like this. But let me make sure I've got my selection. There we go. Now I can't go outside the lines. So that doesn't look like a shadow. But if I go to my layer modes, and you see that letter N stands for normal. I'm going to click that. And I'm going to try the next one on the list, actually, is multiply. And it starts to look like a shadow. Now this is a little bit more green than I wanted. So while I'm on that layer, I'm going to go to my little adjustments window up here right next to the blue S, and hue saturation, and I'm just going to shift this more toward blue and purple. Now that I like. It's kind of a deep blue color, and that's more in line with what I want. So let's see what color that actually is though. I'm going to set this back to normal. So normal. And it's a periwinkle blue. That's what it looks like to me. So I'm going to color pick that. Now, if you're going to be using a color a lot, I would go ahead and save it, okay? So I'm going to go to my colors, and over here beneath my initials, I'm just going to hold down and set, and now I've set that color out there, that kind of periwinkle blue out to that. So I can always come back and grab that. Alright, so I'll go back to my layer settings and change it back to multiply. And go back to my brush. And now I've got a great shadow color. Alright, so where else are the shadows going to be? So like the underside of this is kind of going to be in shadow. And if it's coming from that side, then, you know, this over here is mostly going to be in shadow. And if you make a mistake, you can always just go to the erase and get rid of it. And let's see, under his eyes. And like this whole side sort of is going to be in shadow. Now, this is not something that comes naturally to people that are just starting out. So if you're struggling, you know, take your time, work through it, you know, look at reference material, you know, under his nose, something like that. And we can go over the whole image like this. The inside of his ear there, maybe a little bit along here. And so we don't have to worry about picking a ton of colors this way. We just can pick our shadow color and go to town. So like his head is going to cast a bit of a shadow here on this whole little area. Actually, all of this under here. Now you have to be very careful with multiply mode, okay? Because it gets very dark very quickly. So you have to pick very bright colors. Because if I decide to paint with an actual dark blue here, like it's too much, okay? There is a point where it becomes to be too dark. And especially if you're doing anything in print, it doesn't matter that much for just the internet, but if you're going to print it, you don't want it to be that dark. So we're just going to keep going here. I lost my color, so I'm going to go back to my swatch and pick that color again. That's why it's useful to have that around. But you see how fast this is. So now I'm already thinking about this orange down here, so I'm probably going to leave this. This would normally be in shadow, but because of the light, I'm going to avoid doing that. Because the light from the gun would be very, very bright. So, underside of his cape. All right. So we're off to a good start with our shadows. We'll pick this up in the next one.